everyone, and welcome to another episode of World's Finest. As always, we're your hosts for the evening. I am Lee, and I'm here with my man, L.T. L.T., how are you doing today, sir?
Hey, buddy, doing good, man. Ready for another episode.
Yes, sir, so am I. And we are also coming up on the Christmas season, my friend. Let me ask you this, as an avid collector, do you find this season with Christmas, do they become a little harder to get? Are people, or are people selling more things, trying to get more money for Christmas gifts? I mean, does it become a seller's market or does it become a buyer's market?
No, it is definitely a seller's market. I mean, especially in my collection, the harder to find figures are, of course, scalped and jacked up in price, no matter where they sell it.
Yeah,
I mean, that goes for any time of the year, but more so this time.
got it.
I mean, amongst other things, with we still have shipping problems overseas and whatnot, stuff's coming in slowly, that doesn't help at all,
Right.
so I
Yeah.
mean, I only have one person, my mom, ready to go for, shopping wise. I've got her gift and everything. I still got a ton more to do,
Are you
so
one of those last minute shoppers, man? Are you one of those guys who are running out there Christmas Eve?
yes, I was raised like that.
Yeah.
uh,
So you follow in the footsteps, right? You
yes.
follow in the footsteps. Well, there you go. Yeah, the Christmas season is upon us. And what other better way is there to celebrate the Christmas season as opposed to watching Hawkeye right now, which is right in the Christmas theme, right?
Christmas
It's
show.
taking place over Christmas in New York. I mean, how much better is that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we are here now, just finished the fourth episode. We've got two episodes left. I have to ask you, my friend, I think when we spoke last, you were a little,
I was. Yeah.
and I have to say, the more people I speak to, I spoke to my nephew recently, Brett. He was kind of, talked to my buddy Will just in the past couple hours, and he was like, he hadn't seen episode 4 yet, but he was like, episode 3. I'm on the other end of this. I am enjoying it. I really am. But I have to ask you, being now that we're another episode in, you've seen episode 4 since we last spoke, or maybe even episode 2, or episode
I
3 and
believe
4.
I believe 1 and 2 we were talking about. Those were the first
1
two
and 2.
episodes that
Yeah.
we hadn't talked
So all
since
right.
then.
So episode 3 and 4, let's talk about them. Has your opinion changed at all?
I will admit,
Or,
yes, it has.
okay. All right. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to
I
hear it.
actually really expected more, but then I kind of thought back to WandaVision. The first two episodes of that great show were kind of like, it was the setup. The first two WandaVision were, classic episodes with nothing to do with anything until towards the end you started seeing, oh, hey, wait, there's something going on.
Yeah.
So finally here, now we get, episode 3, we get introduced to more of the tracksuit gang. We get to see, we meet Echo. There's a lot more action. There's fighting, trick arrows up the wazoo on that one episode, and we get to see finally Clint warming up to what's forgot Bishop, Kate Bishop. Yeah. So, and really just, admitting that he likes her. He's, taking her in under his wing. So, all following up into episode 4, more action. We see, that mysterious reveal at the end. There's a lot that still needs to happen in the next 2 episodes. But to answer your question, yes, I have happily changed my mind.
That's awesome. Yes. Yes. And for me, I was enjoying it, as I said, those first 2 episodes. So this has been nothing more except it endeared the show to me even more, these last 2.
Right.
I thought episode 3 was great. I loved the filming of the scene, the chase scene
Oh,
on
awesome.
the road. The camera was just kind of doing a 360 in the backseat of the car, showing what was going on around him, and then going, starting with Clint and Kate, and then circling back around. And I just loved that camera work. I thought it was great. To your point, I loved the trick arrows, Echo's inclusion or introduction. even the guy called the Clown, who was like her Echo's right hand
Right.
man, he eventually becomes, somebody named the Clown, who's a pretty vicious bad guy in his own right. Uh, we've got, I mean, the fact that we basically had our first sighting of the Kingpin, being
Yeah,
brought
it
into
was
the
teased right
Marvel
there.
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was. They keep talking about, for guys who might not have picked up on it, I firmly believe every time they're talking about Uncle, or the big man, stuff like that. To me, that's Kingpin. And then they did get a quick visual when Echo was younger, and taking the Taekwondo or Kung Fu classes or whatever it was. He said, "No, you'll go home with Uncle." And there was no doubt in my mind that was Kingpin, the big
Yes.
guy who came up and wearing the same suit similar to him.
Touched him right
And
on the cheek. Yeah. And you can say, yeah, that's him. Just by
yeah,
his hand.
and the fact that Echo is so tightly uh intertwined with him in the comics,
In the
that's definitely
comics. Yeah.
him, and of course she's getting her own show. And another big clue that he's coming in there is the fact that Kevin Feige this week also basically acknowledged that if we get Daredevil, it's going to be, the same same actor who played him.
Yeah, Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox, yes, the same actor who played him in the Netflix shows, basically confirmed that if and when we see Daredevil, it will be him. So that was basically confirming that we'll probably first of all see him in Spider-Man
Right.
for a brief shot, a few moments, maybe not as Daredevil, but definitely as Matt Murdock. And Kingpin will be in episode 5 of Hawkeye.
Oh, I'm hoping. I mean,
played by Vincent D'Onofrio, same character, or same actor. I would bet money on that.
It was an excellent choice for Kingpin.
Yeah, for sure. But like you said, episode 3 was great. Episode 4, of course, was continued to fun, in my opinion. We get the introduction, or we see Elena, who was basically set up at the end of Black Widow.
Right.
She basically comes in here hunting down Hawkeye because she does believe that he is he murdered her sister, Black Widow, Natasha.
But I don't know. She just seemed like she gave up, or not. She retreated too fast after Bishop had her dead to rights, and she just like basically said no for either to tell her that no, don't shoot, or no, this is not what you think, and she just takes off.
I think it was more along the lines of Kate's senses, first of all, that she didn't shoot her because she sensed that maybe something was not quite right, that she's not some vicious killer bad guy. But at the same time, I think that Black Yelena didn't go after Kate because she doesn't want to hurt an innocent, which is really what Kate is at this point to her. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
Yeah. And then when Clint reveals to her that she was a Black Widow operative, and that it's time for Kate just to take off, because this just got serious.
Yeah. In his
20
mind,
times more serious than the Tracksuit Mafia and Echo. It's a Black Widow. So,
and it was such a call back for him, because when he was catching her, when he thought she was basically thrown off the side of the roof and was dead. You know what I mean? When he was reaching down, that's basically exactly how it was with Natasha, when he was begging her not to let go.
Everything
same thing came back. Flashback to that. Flashback to her mother basically saying, leave her out of this. I also believe that Kate's mother called Kingpin when he was leaving and was saying, when she made some call, we don't know who yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? I do believe that was also Kingpin. Maybe that's how she gets intertwined, or whatever. He gets another way he gets brought in. But no, man, I've really enjoyed it. These last 2 episodes are going to be incredible, in my opinion. Especially episode 5 is supposed to be awesome. It's interesting. I have to bring this up because, like you said, your opinion has changed, but I'm talking to others who have been like, and it kind of reflects in the ratings of the show. It's not a flop by any means.
No.
And the critics love it, so it's critically adored. But the ratings have been the lowest of all of the shows so far. I think it, 1.5 million, I think. And I think Loki's been the highest rated one so far, 2.2, 2.3 or something.
Right.
And then we had Scarlet Witch, 1.8, somewhere around there. And maybe also that was what you call it, was Falcon Winter Soldier. But people are saying that this is also, it's not a flop, but it's not like raising to the, to the
Well,
number
that could
one rating
also,
wise.
sad to say, be that
It's Hawkeye.
Hawkeye is like the least
Yeah.
favorite Avenger. Poor guy. I mean, although I mean he's got no superpowers. I mean, neither did Black Widow, but I mean, Black Widow has a bigger fan following, I guess. But that could be it. I mean, it could also just hinder on the next two episodes. Like I said, I
Yeah.
changed on to the third episode, and if they have another big reveal, episode 5, and they tie it in all together, episode 6, which
Yeah.
will further any Avengers we get or future movies. Kate Bishop getting her own movie or series or whatever. Then
Hmm.
yeah, that I'm sure that the ratings are going to go high. I mean, especially if next episode we do see the Kingpin or someone that we just we haven't seen in forever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So then the rumor already is that episode 5 was going to tear the Twitterverse apart. So, so I anxiously await it, my friend. But no, I'm enjoying this show. I'm notorious to said, or been notorious for not saying that I didn't like Loki as much, and I know a lot of people did, but I'm really enjoying Hawkeye. So I'm really enjoying that show.
Now
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they do bring Kingpin out, and that'll almost just cement uh Matt Murdock in Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
and that just opens a whole other what ifs. Are they going to bring Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Punisher? Are we going to get all those? I mean, or is this now going to be some kind of alternate
I I
universe?
personally feel that if we go, they'll probably go after John Barenthal for Punisher, even though he's just recently stated that he's not interested in being a watered down version because there's no way it could be as as brutal as the show was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As it was on Netflix. So I don't know. We'll see. But everybody really liked his take, and his portrayal of the Punisher. Um, I see that maybe Jessica Jones. I think people also thought that she did a great job, and Luke Cage. But for some reason, I feel like they would go a different route with Iron Fist now because that was not that show never really seemed to find its footing.
Well,
While the other,
it was the only show that only got one season.
no, it got 2 seasons.
Iron
It
Fist.
got Iron Fist got 2 seasons.
Really, I thought it was only one.
No, it got two. And
Did I see season 2? Man.
yeah, it got 2 seasons for sure. I think Jessica Jones got 3, Luke Cage got 2,
Yeah.
and then
Daredevil
got 2, and Daredevil got 3.
3.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I don't feel like they would go after Iron Fist character because, like I said, for some, or maybe they would. Who knows? Maybe with a better writer and a better showrunner, they could do a better job. So maybe they would give that actor a second chance.
Yeah.
But I don't see if anybody would be the Punisher or Jessica. I think if they go with anybody else,
Right.
to be honest. So it'll be interesting to see, my friend. It most certainly will. But yeah, there's other news, and I kind of broke it while we were talking about that. Is the fact that Daredevil has been confirmed, which is pretty exciting. So I know we can't wait for that to really see exactly what kind of role he. It would be incredible if he actually was Daredevil, but I don't think that he'll be Daredevil. I think we'll just see Matt.
In Spider-Man, yeah, it'll
Yeah, in
probably
Spider-Man. Yeah, it'll just be
Matt.
Matt. But that would be awesome. That would really blow everyone's mind with with the two old Spider-Man and Daredevil popping up in there and Venom. Oh my goodness. Oh, that would be crazy. Oh, but we can only wish. We can only wish. Be happy with what we've got, right? We never thought when we were kids, we never thought we'd have this.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's pretty exciting. So yeah, that's our take on Hawkeye. I know we're actually seeing it in the final 2 episodes. Another a series is kind of running right now with its own little storyline is Flash.
The Flash.
Armageddon. When Flash started 8 years ago, dude, I was a huge fan. Huge fan. I was a huge fan of all those CW shows, but I spoke recently about it on our last episode too. I find myself more lately than not forcing myself to watch those shows. You know what I mean? And so it used to be when they were on my radar and I was making sure I was watching them the day of, but
Right.
It's gotten just the stories have gotten terrible in my opinion. But Armageddon, is I don't know how deep we got into that last. Did we talk about
Well, I had only
about the
seen that.
premise?
Yeah, I had only seen that one episode, and we talked about basically the premise of Despero
Okay.
coming back and
Yeah.
coming from the future to stop the Flash from basically Armageddon.
Yeah.
And from then on, it's just been Flash trying to prove to everyone that he is not the cause of Armageddon in different ways. But I don't know. You've seen up to what's episode 2, 3? You said, I believe.
Yep. I saw Black Lightning, and it ended with Black Lightning. Him. How did that end with him? Help me
Black
out.
Lightning. He tried zapping the powers
Yeah.
from.
Barry wanted him to take the powers from
Yeah,
him.
and it ended with Despero going to the
Oh, that's
Hall of
right.
Justice,
Yeah.
and
And
was
him, Black
about
Lightning.
to, of course, uh, zap Flash or kill Flash. But then we had those other two characters. I don't even remember the guy's name. He had made a gun, some kind of disruptor gun, to stop Despero.
Chester.
Chester, yes.
Yeah. And
Uh,
Allegra, I think her
yeah,
name
and
is, isn't it?
Allegra. So
Yeah.
he zapped him. He and then they said, of course, that famous "Run, Barry, run," and he took off.
Yeah.
And then Despero was all like, "Oh, I need to. I'll get you, my pretty." And he takes off.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and then I, if you don't mind, I will
No, go ahead.
spoil part 4.
Sure.
Well, it turns out, of course, someone says something, and then it clicks, and it's like, hey, that means someone might have changed the future in order for everything to have fallen this perfect in line, from Joe's death to this and that. This was too orchestrated, and then of course he's like, well, I need to go into the future. So of course he goes into the future, Flash, and that's when we see the future Star City, and we meet we see Batgirl there. We've got Allegra, everyone there. But of course, when Barry sees Iris is being toasted by Earbod Thawne, of course,
Hmm.
Reverse Flash. But in that future, when he turns into the Flash, Barry, he's Reverse Flash. He's wearing the yellow suit. So they discover that Earbard went back to the past, changed everything, and he became the Flash, and Barry Allen was the Reverse Flash.
So that's how it all went down.
So, in order for that to happen, Barry had to go and do something. I forgot exactly what, to change the future, but by changing the no, to change the past, but by changing the past, yeah, but by changing the past, he causes Armageddon.
Oh, okay. Woo. All right. Time travel. Time
Yeah,
travel.
time
Wow.
travel. So basically, he's like, I'm gonna have to do it to get this all real. So he goes and he fixes everything. Blah blah blah. Armageddon is avoided. He goes back to Despero. Despero's like, he looks with his third eye, and basically says, "Hey, yes, you did change this and that," but he says something like, "But something else still remains to be seen," and we're like, "What?" Of course, it ends with Eobard Thawne coming back to the new present, talks to Gideon to do something, and then we fade to black. Episode 5 next week.
Oh, wow.
So
So,
yeah,
are you enjoying it? Let me just ask you that. Are you enjoying it?
I actually I am. I had not seen all of last season at all. I mean, maybe not even half. So it was a welcome change to see it again. But back of my head, I kept on thinking about what you were saying. Oh, the graphics have gone really wonky. So, and I'm like, hey, look, Despero looks weird. It looks like he's not even lips are talking. His lips aren't
I
talking.
mean, right? I mean, right? Isn't it kind of crazy? I
Uh,
mean, it's kind of crazy that they're just like that. And when you see Superman or you see Titans, and it's just like, man, that's the way it looks. Or you see what Marvel's doing over there with their shows. I mean, that's and it's just like, I think that's what it is. I think maybe that Flash and that came out, and it really not even Arrow. Arrow didn't have a lot of special effects. They didn't need them like Flash did.
True.
Because you know what I'm saying. So maybe we didn't have. And Arrow, that was still early days of comics on TV shows. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, comics becoming TV shows really. Besides, like like the Lois and Clarks or the Smallvilles, So and then Flash came on. So and it looked great. Maybe I'm just spoiled now because of what we're seeing on other television shows. And then you look like, well, you go see something like WandaVision, and then you swip over to the Flash and see what they're doing with Despero. You're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? It's like some of those freaking movies that I'm making with no budget, I mean, I can do Despero. The way it's looking, I might have Despero in my next one.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, gosh, no, I don't know, man. I hate to be that guy who is like, but it really does take me out of when I see stuff like Despero or the fact that I thought we were past the day and age of watching a show where the alien has to look human for no reason.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. When I was watching Despero, I was like, nowhere in the comics was he ever like that. I mean, he like not an Irish, a Scottish gent or whatever. What? No. And then when he transforms with the whole red mohawk and everything, you're like,
yeah.
And then Despero, I think, didn't he always have the third eye present? He always had those three eyes. Yeah. Here he just like, if he really thinks, then it comes up and what?
Yeah. I know. So I mean, I thought we were past that, So I guess just stuff like that happens. I just think after Crisis, I think they built up so much with Crisis and Crisis. Even watching Crisis, I remember being a little let down, from what I thought it was going to be, just all out.
I mean, like
there's some great scenes throughout some of them, but
Crisis, the past, 4 or 5 times they had it was each show had their own part in it. This is a 5-part Flash show, and each episode with its own, guest hero of the week really doesn't do anything, I mean, like episode 3 when was
Black Lightning.
With Black Lightning, part 2
was just Kara's sister.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, what? And then part 4 we have some more characters. We see Batgirl or Batwoman, Ryan Choi's Adam, because it's a future episode. But they really don't do anything, in that show, and so they didn't include Supergirl. They mentioned she's off world with Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
So that in that aspect, you're just relying heavily on the Flash cast and not the power of all the other shows. They're all just glorified, guest appearances.
Yeah. I would actually, and I might have already said this on the previous episode. And again, I'm not hating on these shows. I'm the reason these shows, I'm one of the reasons these shows have lasted as long as they have been, because I was right there championing them on, you know what I mean, and watching them. But I do believe that we are coming to a close of this CW verse.
Right.
Supergirl's done.
I agree.
Flash, I think, will be over this after this year. I really think this will be Flash's last year. If not, then next year will, because the ratings aren't really there anymore either.
No.
As you can see, the money is being siphoned from it apparently.
Exactly. Well, especially
they have no budget. Yeah.
HBO Max is going to debut a bunch of new DC shows, with the money, the backing, and then we're getting it was finally confirmed this week, the Batman spinoff with the Penguin is going to be with Colin Farrell. I mean, that's where money's going to go, no more CG,
not right.
rent a CG character.
Now, that being said, I have to say, that's great. I'm glad they're doing a Penguin show, but I mean, I'm not like I don't know if they ever had a Penguin comic book. I'm not sure I would be running out to buy the Penguin comic book. You know what I mean? So I mean, I will probably I know I'll watch this Penguin show, but I would like to see some other characters besides Penguin getting his own show, or like besides Peacemaker getting his own show.
And then we're
You
getting
know,
the
and I'm not saying that's going to be a bad show. It probably will be really good. I'll probably really enjoy it. But I want to see other characters besides these. What
the
Peacemaker's a D-list character in my
yeah.
opinion.
Well, I mean, we
You know
are
what I
getting
mean?
the Green Lantern Corps show too.
Well, yes,
However,
that's going to be great.
not
Hal
centered around
Jordan
Hal Jordan, yeah,
or John
or John Stewart, yeah.
John Stewart. It's going to be all about. I don't even know if Kyle Rayner's in it, but I think it's Alan
Alan
Scott,
Scott,
Guy Gardner. You
Guy
know,
Gardner's a hothead.
which hey man, a lot of people have. I mean, I like that they're including those Green Lanterns. But I don't know. I don't think Kyle Rayner. I don't think it's him, right?
I have not heard anything about Kyle.
Yeah. So, and maybe Jessica Cruz.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be in it. You know, the female Green Lantern. She's been recently introduced in the past like 8 years, I'd say probably. So, yeah. So,
in fact, if you saw the trailer for the League of Super Pets, you see her in there as part of the Justice League. So,
yep. What do you think about League of Super Pets? I mean,
I like the trailer was good, but I already hate it because it's not what it's supposed to be. Oh man,
I know.
That's not Ace the Bat Hound. That's not how Ace doesn't even have powers, and none of these. Ugh.
I know. Yeah, it's totally not the way it's supposed to be, and you know, you and I are. It will probably be very funny.
Oh yeah.
I think it'll probably be very funny. Yeah, Kevin Hart and
Dwayne Johnson,
The Rock, Keanu Reeves. I mean, it's got a great cast, you know. John Krasinski playing Superman. You know, a great cast, and I'm sure I will see it.
No,
at some point.
I
don't know if I'll see it in the theater unless I take my kids if they say they want to see it, but I'll definitely see it whenever it comes out on streaming or video. But you know, I just see them putting money on these projects. Now, we'll probably make them some money, but man, I wish they'd just get their stuff together and just really. I mean, the fact that this was a Superman movie coming out, or just no coherent, still clear. I mean, we're probably 10 years away from another Justice League movie, if that. You know, I mean, who knows? Anyway, we can go on and on about that, but guys. LT, am I missing any new hotness? I'm glad you brought up the Super Pets, so we can at least talk about that. I think that's it, man. I think we're pretty much.
Hawkeye concludes next week.
No,
2 weeks.
We got 2 episodes left. Yeah.
Which will immediately follow the Book of Boba. That'll start. You know, so we'll. That's something else we can talk about soon.
Yep.
God bless. Nothing really. Spider-Man's coming out next week, so I don't know.
Well, we'll definitely be talking about that the week after.
I've already bought my tickets. My daughter's coming down from college.
Are you seeing it on the 17th?
No, we're seeing on the 19th because the 17th and 18th were all sold out.
Oh wow, gotcha.
It was crazy. In fact, I told my daughter, we're gonna go big or go home, so we're gonna watch it in IMAX on Sunday.
Okay.
It cost me a little bit more, but
right, it's worth it.
It's worth it, especially if we're gonna see everything that we've been teased, at least with 3 Spider-Mans.
So the week of the 20th, we will be recording our review of that for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us this episode. We really enjoyed you being here with us as we broke down Hawkeye and talked about the Flash and the downfall of the Flash, basically. No, but guys, again, let us know what you think about the show. Hit the like button, leave us some comments. More than happy to discuss anything you want us to. LT, it's been a pleasure as always, sir.
Lee, I appreciate it, man.
All right, guys.
Later.